You may be asking yourself, why does life seem harder for me than for others? It's because you're a deeply spiritual individual, using life's challenges to establish a connection with a higher force. We will discuss the common struggles that highly spiritual people encounter in their lives and how overcoming these struggles helps them get a deeper understanding of spirituality. It can be difficult to grow spiritually during the dark night of the soul. It resembles a profound journey of introspection where you investigate your own consciousness. Since it exposes your actual self and the people who really matter, this crisis can be confusing. Things that used to make you happy might no longer do so, and negative aspects of old habits might surface. Similar to shedding your old skin to make room for the new, this process is challenging but essential for personal growth. It frequently entails the ending of activities and relationships that are out of step with how your truth is evolving. To show our gratitude for your participation in this video, we are offering you a spiritual book called The Kybalion. It is filled with priceless old wisdom. To get it, click the link in the description down below. Even though you may doubt your own existence, overcoming these obstacles helps you change and improves your ability to sustain a more pure state of consciousness. You might look for unambiguous, unchanging truths during your spiritual journey, but reality is more complicated than that. There are many contradictions and ambiguities in spirituality. A person's experience may not always align with that of another. In the spiritual realm, laws that govern the material world do not always hold true. This means that truth is subject to change based on circumstances, and we must navigate through multiple levels of understanding. It can be mysterious and challenging to manage these complicated truths. There are things about the universe and the divine that we might never fully comprehend. This can be viewed as an opportunity to learn more about what we don't know rather than a limitation. Although our society frequently favors simple solutions, accepting this complexity entails accepting doubt and uncertainty, which occasionally has advantages. Our curiosity and refusal to take anything for granted can both be bolstered by doubt. It is precisely this uncertainty that keeps us humble and receptive to new ideas. It's possible that some of your previous beliefs will no longer benefit you as you travel. Your soul is naturally growing in this way. You gain more knowledge about the interconnectedness of all things, the nature of change, and the eternal nature of consciousness with each step of complexity. It can be difficult for people on a spiritual path to find true, meaningful love. Finding a mate who genuinely gets you on an inner level is more important than anything else. You realize that love elevates your soul and is more than just an emotion or a physical attraction. It is a sacred union. In a world where fast and casual relationships are preferred, this makes the search for love more difficult. You long for talks with someone who is on the same spiritual path as you and who delves into life's mysteries. You have to first love and comprehend yourself in order to find this unique love. Have patience and trust that the right person will show up when it's supposed to. Your love for the world turns into a light that leads you to your true love. A basic part of life is suffering, which has an impact on us in a variety of ways, from physical discomfort to psychological anguish. Understanding pain's function in our personal growth is more important than actively seeking it out. Empathy for ourselves and others can be fostered, and our egos can be crushed by suffering. Additionally, it has the power to bring about profound shifts in our lives by encouraging us to re-evaluate our course and rediscover our inner strength. Wisdom traditions advise against running away from suffering and facing it head-on. To do this, we must acknowledge our suffering, comprehend its causes, and draw lessons from it. Though we must acknowledge that suffering exists, we must not allow it to define who we are. Suffering as a part of our spiritual journey teaches us to let go of the things we cannot control and concentrate on the things we can. A significant milestone in our spiritual development can be reached when we turn our suffering into healing for others and ourselves through acts of kindness and compassion. The path of spirituality can be extremely difficult. Learning to let go is one of them. Even though it looks easy, this task is quite difficult. To let go is to let go of our intense attachment to concepts, goals, and material possessions. This encompasses material belongings, ingrained convictions, grudges, and previous setbacks. Anything impeding our spiritual development. What makes it so difficult to let go? Things appeal to our ego, the part of us that believes we are distinct from one another. It discovers who it is in the past and feels secure in known ground. Even when things no longer benefit us or make us happy, we tend to hold on to identities, relationships, and experiences. A false sense of security and control is produced by this attachment. Conversely, letting go necessitates facing the unknown, embracing uncertainty, and having faith in how life will work out. It has a lot in common with the practice of trust, which depends on a higher intelligence that directs everything in the universe. We must believe in the goodness of the universe rather than depending on certain results if we are to have faith in the natural course of life. We create space for fresh experiences, opportunities, and viewpoints when we let go of our hold on things. This procedure promotes development and calls for the constructive energy of change. Forgiveness, or letting go of grudges and resentments, is another aspect of letting go. It can damage us to have this baggage obstructing our spiritual flow. We can move past painful memories and allow love to heal our hearts when we forgive. We become more modest and come to terms with the fact that everything in life is fleeting with each let go. Our actual nature lies deep within us and is unrelated to the things we own. For those who identify as spiritual, exploring our inner selves can be unsettling. It is examining our inner selves, including the areas we tend to cover up, such as our doubts, fears, and intense emotions. Professionals refer to these obscure entities as the shadow. However, they are not always negative. It could also be our latent abilities and the energy we've hidden to blend in with others. Instead of self-blame, it's a means of development. Shadow work and introspection entail going deep to uncover our fears, the sources of our beliefs, and the reasons behind our actions. It isn't easy, but necessary for development. Rather than erasing or rejecting aspects of who we are, we aim to become a complete, well-rounded individual. Being whole rather than flawless is our path as spiritual beings. The idea is to accept every aspect of who we are, the good, the bad, and the unknown. This results in the purest kind of liberty. A miscommunication frequently marks the start of a spiritual journey. It's a journey, not a destination, even though we may believe there's a point at which we'll reach complete enlightenment. It resembles a river that never stops moving and changing all the time. Accepting that life is changing is essential to spiritual development. Exploring our true selves more deeply is more important than changing into someone else. Every instant presents a chance for growth and learning. Although it may seem intimidating to constantly strive for improvement, consider this: it adds excitement to life. There's no rush to accomplish a particular outcome. Rather, over time you'll discover that your objectives shift and adjust. Acknowledgement isn't a momentary state that enables us to comprehend life more fully rather than a permanent one. Accepting progress rather than giving up on learning is the key. Not every journey is simple. There are highs and lows, achievements and setbacks, happiness and sadness in it. But we learn to genuinely appreciate life through these encounters. Keep in mind that the journey is a blessing rather than a burden, and that it never ends. The gift of unending growth is what it is. I appreciate your presence if you are still reading. If you find this message meaningful, please forward it to someone who might benefit from it, and let us know what you think in the comments section. I hope your voyage is fantastic. As you proceed, may you find blessings and serenity.